Welcome to Conversations Live. For more than a decade, we've brought you the best in books, entertainment, celebrity interviews, and current events. When the movers and shakers of the world have something to say to you, they say it to us first. Here's your host, Cyrus Webb.
And welcome back, everyone, to Conversations Live. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again. But for our radio audience here in Mississippi at WYAD 94.1 FM and WYADonline.com, we're glad that you all could be with us. Also, just joining us are our friends at iHeartRadio and Amazon Music Podcast. We're glad to have all of you with us as well. There's a new film that I know you guys are going to really enjoy called The Cricket Dance that you guys will be able to see real soon. I'm excited to welcome not only the actress that brings to life one of the main characters, Kristen Renton, is with us, but also the director of the film, Veronica Robledo, is joining us. We're going to talk to the two of them not only about their journey of being able to tell this story that's actually based on a book I've now started to read, but also what they hope you as viewers are able to take away from it as well. Kristen, Veronica, hello to you and welcome to the program.
Thank you so much for having us.
Oh, the pleasure is definitely all mine. Veronica, I'll start with you on this. As I mentioned, this is a project that, is based on a book, The Cricket's Dance. What was it like for you to be able to have the opportunity to share the story in film?
It's just been a beautiful feeling, really, just to see it all unfold. It's been 6 years in the making, and so I'm a number one fan of the book. I think the book is amazing, and so it's just a dream come true to see it, on picture now.
Kristen, you've been able to bring to life so many great characters over the years. I mean, what was it like for you to bring the main character, Angie, to life in the story?
It was such an amazing journey because I really love the evolution that she has in this film. It was wonderful to work with the cast and the crew, and Veronica was a phenomenal director, and I think we all just were very passionate about this project, so we really hope that it kind of shines through when you watch the film. It was just an amazing journey, and I had a wonderful time.
We're going to come back to The Cricket's Dance, but because it is the first time we've had the two of you on together, Veronica, I want to ask you, have you always known that storytelling in some form or fashion, whether through film or any other way, was something you wanted to do?
Yes. Since I was a child, I was into theater and acting. It was just something that just drew me to it, being able to tell a story. And actually, I'll tell you a funny story. When I was a little girl, maybe about 7, 8 years old, my sisters and I would put puppet shows together and create our own puppets and little theater. And we'd invite all the kids on the block and charge them $1 to watch it, and they would come. So it was there. It was a passion of mine. Absolutely.
Wow. And what about for you, Kristen? Have you always known that acting was something that you wanted to do, or when did that kind of start for you?
You know what? No, when I was growing up, I wanted to be a marine biologist, actually, or a dolphin trainer, and then I realized that the animals in captivity wasn't cool, so then we changed our mind about that. But I got into acting a little bit later. I was in my late teens when I discovered how much I enjoyed it. My older sister was a model, and I was kind of following in her footsteps a little bit, and one thing led to another, and I ended up getting asked to go to LA and try acting a little bit. And after my first commercial, I just fell madly in love with it, and here we are 20-something years later.
Wow. And you've been able to, like I said, be known for so many great projects. So, Veronica, I have to ask you, I did not even know this was a book before watching the film, but then finding that out that maybe want to do it, I'm sure others will feel the same way. What was it about this particular story? How did this all come about that you even found out about The Cricket's Dance?
Yes, well, the book was written by Veronica Robledo, and she contacted me on Twitter. And so shortly after, social media. And so shortly after I bought the book, I read it all in 1 week, and I just, I really felt very strongly like there's just so much good stuff in here. I could definitely make a story out of this, make a movie out of this. And I just think, what was happening in today's time, I just felt like, the audience, people just needed a good feel story at the same time. Yeah, there's a lot of hardships. There's some sad moments, but, I just feel like the world needs something to unite us. And I just thought it was good for today's timing.
It is a very timely story, and again, that's how eerie this is. I mean, that this book was written, and now, of course, now in 2021, us being able to see the story. So what about the casting? Did you kind of have in mind, I mean, kind of how you saw it unfolding, Veronica? How did that kind of come about when it came to the casting?
Well, that's crazy that you mentioned about, the story, the book, because the book was written 10 years ago, if not a little bit longer. So Debbie's had this book for a while now, and so and it's just amazing how it's all about perfect timing, and this was the timing for it. So, but with the casting, it was a lot of hard work. I got a lot of help from a lot of individuals. We did get a casting director on board for pre-production who helped cast the two main leads, which I already had, Andrew Reuben McGrath, which was played by Maurice Johnson. I already had him lined up for it because we worked with him 6 years ago when we did a trailer to pitch the Crickets Dance idea. And then Kristen Renton, she came much later, very close to filming. We were still kind of like, I had some names thrown at me, actresses from this casting director, and I just didn't feel like, they were the one. They were Angie Lawrence. And then just one Saturday afternoon, I was going through IMDb, and I just, which I had already done multiple times, and I bumped into Kristen Renton, and I was like, oh, my God, this is her. She's talented. She's beautiful. This is her. And this is something different than, Kristen's been used to playing. It's a completely different role, and I thought she would be, up for it.
Wow. And, Kristen, that's a great segue to you, Sid. I mean, what was it like for you when you were first presented with this?
When my agent first called me and said, they want to know if you're interested, here's the script. I read the script, fell in love with it. So I went out and bought the book. And I read the book twice. And I just said, I absolutely have to be a part of this project. As Veronica said, it is something that's very far removed from what my normal characters are, what I'm used to playing, and I was so excited because I was really craving playing something different. You don't ever want to get stuck doing the same thing, and I was really looking for a nicer person to play. And so reading this character, and I completely I felt for her and her journey, and I really looked forward to kind of going on this adventure with the other cast and crew. So I just jumped at the opportunity. I was very excited, and I was really thankful that Veronica and everyone put their faith in me. And I'm really honored to have played Angie.
Yeah. I think the thing about the book that makes it so fascinating for me, Veronica, and I'll throw this first to you, is especially looking at a chapter like 25, because I thought I would be finished by the time we had this conversation. Unfortunately, I did not, but I'm almost there. and in chapter 25 of the book, The Search, there's this one passage that I thought was so fascinating because I feel like you were able to bring this into the film really well. And I want to actually share the passage for our radio audience. For those who have the paperback like I did, I got mine from Amazon. It's on page 196. And this is what was said after they had found the graves. Her excitement of the graves we found made the people in the journal real to her. Not only had they been real to me from the start, they had become a part of my life. After all, they once lived in my home and on my land. They brought me an understanding of my own family and feelings that I never would have found without them. I had to resolve it now. It was the only way I could ever begin to repay Annabeth for all she taught me. The only way I could show Andrew that the world was capable of change. So I want to ask you first, Veronica, and then go to you, Kristen, on this, because I think it's an interesting thing to watch the film and think, it's so sad that some things have changed, but other things have not. So I want to ask you what that was like for you, Veronica, to kind of try to share a sliver of that in this film.
You read a beautiful passage. I mean, that is just really nice, and it was just very surreal to be able to. I mean, Debbie did an amazing job writing that book, and there's just so much detail. And I think you're absolutely right. Kristen did an amazing job to be able to, because a lot of that was just emotion a lot of that was being able to, without words, show the audience. And I tried to I tried to see my audience as intelligent beings without having to explain everything by words, but show in picture. And so it's just very touching. It feels really good that people are able to comprehend that they're able to get that, and that I was able to capture those emotions and those feelings. And I think Kristen did an amazing job being able to, showcase that as well.
Yeah. So, Kristen, I want to throw it to you. What was it like for you to kind of bring to life this character in the circumstances that she finds herself in, and with the truth that she's able to discover, not only about the world she lives in, but even about herself?
It's a good question. It was something that I took very seriously. I wanted to make sure that I was able to convey the full range of emotions and the full journey that this character goes through. I think we all find ourselves in a time where we're learning things about ourselves that maybe we never had to acknowledge before, or never thought to acknowledge before, or even thought to question. And I think this story really brings that full circle for a lot of people. And, with the character, it was something that, there's a moment in the movie where she kind of addresses that she never thought she was a certain type of way, but, maybe she was unknowingly conveying certain things that maybe would have had people think she was. All these questions that arise when you're presented with information or presented with a circumstance that is out of the norm. And, I just wanted to make sure that with whatever choices I made, I was able to convey that we as humans continue to grow, we continue to evolve, we continue to do the best that we can with whatever circumstances present themselves towards us. And I think that was something that she was discovering and dealing with. And, I did my best to kind of allow the audience to go on that journey with me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was easy, but she pulled it off.
Veronica, I wanted to ask. Yeah, definitely. Mm-hmm. I mean, to both of you. Kudos to both of you. Because I think it really is. When I prep for conversations like this, I think, this movie is a perfect dance of a powerful story, but also the actor's talent in being able to bring it to life. To really make it their own, and I think that's what really brings us to life. Veronica, we all have heard that saying that time brings about a change. Of course, we also have heard timing is everything. I want to go with the latter one with you about timing being everything. Do you think it's just the perfect time for a movie like this, where it is something different and entertaining, but also kind of reflective about life and kind of where we are today, even in some ways?
Absolutely. It's a fiction, but, a lot of people are like, man, it's a fiction. It feels like it could be a true story, and it does have that feel, right? And I think in today's time, we've been seeing a lot of, stories of history, that can be a little, very depressing or can be very violent. And, just with everything that's going on in today's time, it's like we need more inspiration. We need a more feel good. I know mine's, the Cricket Zen's a little bit of combination, but I just tried to, certain moments neutralize it and not go too far into making it, too gruesome or extreme, in some areas, but still make it somewhat realistic, right? And I think that it's just in perfect timing for that reason. It's like I think today we need things that inspire us, that we can look back and reflect on history, what probably happened in the past, and move forward and and make better decisions and unite and come together and just try to have more kindness and tolerance for one another. And and I just think it's in perfect timing for that reason. And I just try to do something a little bit different than what we're used to seeing on picture, of going too much to that other end of, we kind of already know what was said in the past and how abusive and that women, situations that women went through, even and Black people have gone through. And so I just try to reflect those issues in a different light, and just be more understanding of our audience needs today. And I think that's important.
I totally agree. Veronica, I want to ask you before I go to Kristen, have you had a chance, because I'm horrible at this, and hopefully you have had an opportunity to do it, have you had a chance to pat yourself on the back yet for seeing this through and to help bring the story to life?
There's moments where I feel proud of myself, and I take those moments to thank God, because I know that, I did not do this alone. It was by the grace of God why I've been able. I mean, this isn't something that, I'm very aware. This isn't something that just, a lot of people have been able to accomplish,
Right.
And so I'm very proud of myself, but I don't feel like, I think it's too soon to be like, completely praising myself. And, okay. But I am very proud of my, my cast, my crew, everyone. I'm very proud of myself. Just even if nothing happened with the cricket dance and this was it, I mean, it's a big accomplishment, and I realize that, and I will always be proud of this no matter where the cricket dance goes. I'll be proud of my accomplishments, but I thank God, absolutely.
Good deal. 2 parts for you then, Kristen. Definitely want to ask you also about taking the time to celebrate yourself. Like I said, my friends get on me about that all the time. I'm normally from one project going to the next thing, and you don't really have that time to take a breath and say, you know what, you did great at that. But I want to ask you first about the film. I mean, when people watch the Crickets dance, when they're able to view it, and of course our audience here, they know our partners is Prime Video, so you can guys go and rent or buy it now on Prime and other places. We're going to let you guys know about that. But when they watch it, Kristen, what is your hope, other than being entertained, that they take away from it?
I really do hope that, obviously, yes, that they are entertained, but that they walk away having learned something. Maybe be a little bit more introspective, maybe walk away having a different perspective on a situation that either has arisen or will arise for them in the future or in the past. Just if it can teach anything or create empathy in some way, or maybe just a different perspective on the world in which we live in right now, then it will absolutely have served its purpose, and I feel like I have accomplished something.
Yes, if it can inspire young girls to go follow their dreams, that alone, that they can do it, that they can dream big, that's great. It's an accomplishment.
I love that. And Kristen, I have to ask you, I mean, you've been able to achieve so much. Have you had those moments where you've been able to kind of step back and to savor it?
No. I'm so bad at that. I'm very
it's hard.
much like you. I'm always constantly critiquing myself and the work that I've done, or that I haven't, instead of taking a moment and say, look, this is a phenomenal accomplishment. What we did this, we had a short period of time. Everybody really put in, blood, sweat, and tears, and we've got this beautiful film. I'm so guilty of saying, yeah, but I didn't get that other one, or I didn't spend enough time on this other project, or, and it's I'm so my mother's daughter in that sense. Like, it's so ridiculous. But I am getting better. I have some phenomenal people in my life that sit there and they're like, Kristen, sit down. Just be happy for all that you have accomplished. Take a breath. Like, learn to just, it's okay if you sit still for a moment. And I think creative people, it's hard for us to sit still, So thankfully I have a phenomenal boyfriend and phenomenal friends and family who tell me, like, look, take a breath. It's okay. Just enjoy what you have accomplished. You can go get the rest of it tomorrow,
Absolutely. Very true.
Well, look, I hope our audience, before this year ends, will take out the time as they're gathering with family and friends, or even by themselves like I did, and watch the Crickets dance. As I mentioned, I saw it through our friends at Prime Video. You guys can rent it and buy it there, but there's other places you all can see it as well. So, Veronica, let our audience know, how can they be able to find out the different outlets and stay connected with the updates?
Yes, you can follow us on Instagram or Facebook, The Crickets Dance. And you'll get all the updates there. The Crickets Dance is on Amazon Prime, iTunes. It's been released in the U.S. and Canada. And also, it's in a lot of different multiple platforms, including on demand. And so, yeah, thank you so much for having us.
Of course. And Kristen, how can I stay connected with you?
I have, the plethora of social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and you can just find me by my name, Kristen Renton. And I am posting updates about the Crickets Dance as well. So any new updates about the movie, I'll post, and then you'll be able to check it out.
All right. Veronica, Kristen, thank you so much for a great conversation. Really appreciate the time, and looking forward to having you back on the show again.
Great.
Thank you so much for having us.
It was a pleasure.
Oh, the pleasure's definitely all mine. Appreciate that. And we thank your audience for tuning in to another great segment of Conversations Live. Until next time, I'm your host, Cyrus Webb, saying as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Thank you all for choosing Conversations Live. Then let's go make today amazing. Take care.